Hi, how are you? My name is Dante Ramos from Where's the Buzz? Yes, I have a question for you both. Very often we hear in our culture that we are tired of seeing stories such as these, that we want to see different Black stories. But I personally felt that Underground Railroad gave me such a different insight on somebody else's life and their trajectory. What do you feel about that type of feelings within our Black community?
I understand where the impulse comes from. I will say nobody's seen the show yet, and so how can you know what the content of it is without seeing it? I understand where the impulse comes from. I think that for quite a long time we've grown accustomed to these images arriving to us from a certain point of view, or with a certain lack of verisimilitude, with a certain lack of truth. So I think the skepticism is justified. I think as artists, all we can do is create the images that we feel it's within us to create, and then put them into the world, and hope that folks, will see something new or something illuminating in the work that we do. As far as this subject matter goes, in particular, I agree with the sentiment to a certain degree, and I think that what I felt like not my goal was, but one of the really beautiful things about this process for me was to recontextualize who I feel my ancestors are in the public consciousness, maybe to create or provide a new way of looking at them, because the alternative is to ignore that they ever existed. And I don't think that's acceptable. And so I do think we have to keep creating images in their image and always be aware of what am I adding to the conversation? What am I adding to the representation of them through creating this work? And I think that was what was so fulfilling about the process. I think everyone from Tuso on down to the lowest background extra on the totem pole, everybody understood that that's what the task was. What are we showing anew in this creation?
Yes. So how about for you? What do you feel about that in the sense of you actually playing Cora and having to deliver that story?
I think everything that Barry said, and then just a small addition is in performing the story and seeing my colleagues, take on their roles, it didn't feel like a voyeuristic putting the Black body on display thing as we've seen in the past, and then showering it with your opinions and what you think the Black body went through, but understanding, actually taking the time to understand, do the research, and put in the time in telling the story of the Black experience, but using different lenses to showcases, which is something that we haven't seen yet.